Got some props here. I'm going to just kind of move those around a little tiny bit because I don't want to trip over those while I'm preaching here. My dear friends in Christ, may God's grace and His beautiful word feed and bless you daily for life and ministry in His name. Amen. A long time ago in 1883, there was a church that was built and opened it began its ministry in northeast Kansas City. And that church was built on the offerings of children, Sunday school children in Kansas and Missouri in the Midwest, saved up their money for a new Lutheran mission church. And that church is called Children's Memorial Lutheran Church. That's why it has that name, because the children gave of what they had to help birth a church. So for 100 plus years, Children's Memorial was doing really well in its ministry out there in northeast Kansas City on Independence Avenue. It was a very faithful and vibrant worshiping committee. But if you know anything about northeast Kansas City, about Independence Avenue, things have changed dramatically. It's a very impoverished neighborhood. Some of the poorest of the poor in Kansas City live there in northeast Kansas City. So what's happened in the last 30 years is that this once vibrant congregation dwindled and dwindled and dwindled because the neighborhood changed, people became afraid, people moved out, people died, and the building began to fall into some disrepair. And so it got to the point where the congregation considered closing their 100-plus-year-old ministry. But thankfully, that didn't happen. Thanks to the gracious ongoing work of the Holy Spirit, alive and well through Pastor Ann Runquist and her parishioners, a lot of volunteers in the parish, this congregation has been beautifully reborn. And so now it's called the Gathering Table at Children's Memorial. And they are doing tremendous ministry with homeless and low-income folks out in northeast KC. And from a church that even a few years ago just had virtually no one, very, very, very minimal attendance, is now worshiping 60 on Sunday morning. And there are 2 other congregations now worshiping there beyond the 60 that are coming through Children's Memorial. There is a new congregation of immigrants from Mexico and from the Congo. So this building that almost closed, this ministry that almost died, is alive again, doing great ministry on Sunday mornings and Sunday afternoons, and housing 3 congregations. And beyond that, they are feeding 6,000 people a year through 4 free meals a week. And they also, last year, gave away 12,000 articles of clothing to people who could not afford it. They have a thrift store, but you don't have to pay. The joy for them is in sharing what they have. So last year, I went out there with some donations that several of you gave me, and thank you for your generosity. And I went out there to drop off this carload of donations to Pastor Ann, and all I wanted to do was drop them off and to say hello and drop them off and wish them blessings from St. Mark's. And I didn't know it was their VBS week. And Pastor Ann and several of the people of her church were sitting around this table, and they were eating pizza and garlic bread and having salad. And they said, "Why don't you come and join us and have some food with us?" And I said, "Well, I want you to have that food. I don't want to take away from what you have." And they said, "We have enough. We have more than enough. And we want you to come and sit with us and eat." It's always great to sit and break bread with one another, but to sit with the poor who share of what they have is a beautiful thing. We are at the beginning of what's called the Bread of Life chapter. For 5 weeks now, we're going to really dig into the Gospel of John, the 6th chapter. And each week, we're going to hear about and think about what it is to be fed by Jesus, who is the bread of life in our lives. So each week, there's going to be a different focus. This week, the focus is on how Jesus feeds our physical hunger. How he gives us daily bread blessings in life. In this chapter, when Jesus and his disciples gather with the crowds, there are lots and lots of people there. And John tells us there are 5,000 people that are gathered there, and they're drawn by the Word of God and work in Jesus. But then the physical needs start to enter the picture, and they're hungry. And so Jesus has this great question for Philip. He says, where are we to buy bread for these people to eat? Where are we to buy enough bread for 5,000 people? And Philip, he is a good disciple, but he sees 5,000 people, and he knows there is no way that Jesus and the disciples have the ability, the resources to feed these 5,000 people. He has this great line, not even 6 months' wages would buy enough for each of them to even have a little bit. But then two great things happen to make this sign happen. In the Gospel of John, they're not referred to as miracles, they're called signs, as a way of enforcing and underscoring Jesus' presence as the Word of God at work in the world. So two great things happen to make this sign happen. The first is the generosity of a little boy. And we know that he is poor because in biblical times, barley was the cheapest available resource you could have to make bread, the least expensive. So that little boy, all he's got for his lunch that day are 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But Andrew brings that little boy to Jesus, and that boy gives the 5 barley loaves and the 2 fish to Jesus. So that's the first part of what makes this sign happen, generosity. The second part is the blessing of God upon it all. When Jesus offers up the bread and the fish to God, there is more than enough for everyone. John describes this as an overflowing abundance. John says that the 5,000 people ate until they were satisfied. They didn't just eat a little, they ate until they were satisfied. And there were leftovers. Did anyone pick up from that story? Or you can look in your scripture. How many baskets of leftovers were there? It's a really biblical number. 12. And so there's a double blessing to those 12 baskets. The 12 tribes of Israel and the 12 disciples. So this is meant as an additional sign that they are to take, the 12 disciples are to take these blessings of God out into the world with them. So the question for today is, how does Jesus meet our physical hunger? And we get to thinking about the same question that Jesus asked, where will we get enough to feed the needs? Where will we get enough? This is a constant fear for a lot of people in our society, in our world. Certainly here in the United States, we are blessed with abundance. We are blessed with a great deal of abundance. But there are many people, regardless of their economic status, who focus on this. I don't have enough. I gotta gather more and more and more. I gotta have more food. I gotta have more clothes. I gotta have a bigger house. I gotta have a fancier car. I gotta have more money. If I could, I want to have more love. So people gather and gather and gathered, but their lives never become any more blessed. Because all that stuff that they're gathering is temporary. It is not eternal. It is not spiritual. There is a wonderful petition. They're all wonderful petitions, but the one I'm thinking of this day, there's a wonderful petition in the Lord's Prayer about daily bread. Do you know what Jesus teaches us to pray in that way? He says, give us this day our daily bread, right? Okay, so Luther, in the small catechism, which we're going to be studying in the adult class starting in 6 weeks, so come and join us. And you can download that app for free from the ELCA website or from augsburgfortress.org. So in the catechism, Luther lists something like 15 or 16 daily bread blessings: food, clothing, shelter, family, friends, good health, favorable weather, good neighbors, and all of the above, and more. But Luther also says that God gives us these daily bread blessings so that we can recognize that they come from God, but also that we can receive it with thanksgiving. So I want us to think about this week, what are the great daily bread blessings that we have? I bet that you all have, I know that you all have many daily bread blessings. And for us to constantly be aware of what it means to follow the lead of that little boy, to give of what we have, whether it's a little, whether it's kind of in between, whether it's a lot, to give freely to God of what we have so that others may be fed. So I'm going to lift up a few things, a few daily bread blessings today. And so the first thing I'm going to do is, if it's okay, I'm going to ask Elaine and Janelle and and Jan and Bev, if you want to please come up. And will you unfold this and show this to the congregation? This to me is a beautiful daily bread blessing that all of you, Bev, get to be a part of. So these ladies, along with some other ladies from our church, thank you. They make these. And they've been making them for years. So are these made, and any of you feel free to, yeah, there you go, thanks. That's a good spot to hide. So these are made with love. These women all have such love in their lives and in their hands to be able to make this. So are these made from, like $1,000 a yard material? It's donated by the members. It's donated out of your abundance. Okay. Well, see, there you go. They need some more backing. So if you would, bring some more backing as well. So these are made of scraps. These are things that have been gathered, given by you, by other people, and these daily bread blessings, these little squares, have all come together to make a beautiful blanket for someone. And every year when we get to serve at the MLM Christmas store, every family gets one of these. Families that cannot afford a blanket. So to give someone a blanket, a beautiful quilt like this, means that you're giving dignity and you're giving love. So thank you, ladies, for sharing those daily bread blessings. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So speaking of Children's Memorial Lutheran Church out in Northeast Kansas City, Pastor Ann and the great ministry that she does, here's what they could use. Shoes. Socks. I like these hot pink socks. I got these in a packet of a 6-packet of socks. When you are poor, Pastor Ann told me that quite often homeless people don't have socks. And if you don't wear socks, now some of us don't wear socks with our shoes because it's fashionable. But if you don't wear socks with your shoes, chances are your feet are going to get beat up a lot. You're going to have blisters and sores and all kinds of things. If you don't have socks or shoes, you're really compromised. So Pastor Andy asks that all of us through St. Mark's, anyone who's got extra shoes, if you could give me some shoes, if you've got them, anytime throughout the year, socks or shoes, we'll get them out there to Pastor Ann and her people. She says there are tears in the eyes of the people when they get shoes and socks because they have nothing. So this is a daily bread blessing. So thank you for thinking about it and for sharing. Another thing that they can use is seasonable clothing. Okay, and I'm not saying anything particular about the Royals this year. It's kind of a rough year, but it's a rebuilding year. But if you have a t-shirt that perhaps you no longer need, or something that you would like to give away, that's still good. They can also use seasonable clothing, so thank you for that. I want to thank everyone this month who has just really knocked it out of the park in terms of bringing. All of that's going to get loaded in my car after second service. It's going to MLM tomorrow. Pens, pencils, erasers, markers. Do you know that thousands of children in Kansas City don't have these for school, and school starts in 2 weeks? So MLM is hoping to help 1,000 anyway of those children with everyone would get a full new backpack from our church and other churches that have gathered. Thank you. That's a daily bread lesson. And then the last one I have, it's pretty big, so I'm going to move all these out of the way. And thank you, Janice, for bringing this. Appreciate it. So this week, we're going to meet at Happy Bottoms and put together diaper packs. And so this is a daily bread blessing. I never had to worry about this as a child because I was a child and I didn't know. My parents always took care of me. Hopefully you did to either your parents or children. But there are a lot of children in, is this Johnson County? Whole metro area. Janice, could you tell a little bit more about what Happy, I know it's a good ministry, what Happy Bottoms does?
Yeah, they take donations of diapers and then we have to take the diapers apart and they count out stacks of 15 and 14, something like that. I mean, you have to rewrap them and then they don't actually give it to the families, but they have different organizations around the metro area that give these diapers to, and then the families will come in and get the donation of diapers. They found that, they figured how many diapers that they can give to a family a month for a child. They figure that they can afford so much, and then they run out, so then the child just doesn't spoil diapers. And they need diapers for daycare, so it's an important thing that the children aren't going to spoil diapers. And this Saturday, we're meeting at Happy Bottoms from 9 to 11. It's only 2 hours. And if you need more volunteers, children to adults can help. We have kids who put stickers on to put the size of the diapers on the packages. You count out the number of diapers, and then we have to wrap them in this saran wrap to the packages to go out. Sign-up sheets on the board up there. And it's just in the next that we're on 107 so it's just a few months from here.
And any age can help, so please come and join us. And thank you for all of these great daily bread blessings, people of St. Mark's, to our quilters, to people who give for Children's Memorial and for MLM, for Happy Bottoms, just for all of these ways that, these are just some of the many ways that we get to share what we have. And when we share what we have, we're just like that little boy. Miraculous things happen. God's kingdom is multiplied, and Jesus is glorified, and it's beautiful. Let us pray. Dear Lord God, we're thankful for every day that you give us and for your many daily bread blessings to us, our lives and our homes, our families, our spouses, our children, our friends, good health. Just for each day, Lord, we're thankful. We pray that you would continue to bless us with many daily bread blessings, and we also pray that you would bless all people of the world with these blessings. Help us to share what we have so that all people may know your love through us. We pray it in your name, Father.